Brace yourselves, beautiful viewers. This morning, Donald Trump is totally bewildered as to why, with the economy on a cliff and the nation at war, Americans might be turning on him. But more than that, he's also perplexed that Democrats have targeted one of their own lawmakers with their eye, one who has played a pivotal role in the Trump agenda. If you are frustrated by Democrats who refuse to hold the party line at key moments, or if you wonder if party leadership is taking names of the disloyal, you will want to see this report. All the mudslinging and detentions coming up next here on the USA News. Welcome to the show, my beautiful viewers. I am your host, Chris. So, in the Trump era, we've seen no shortage of Republicans, usually led by President Chickenhawk himself, turn on their own for questioning Trump's wisdom, or the actions of a party hell-bent on sucking up to the uber-rich and screwing over everyday Americans like us. But what about the Democrats who vote with Trump and the Republicans? Fortunately, in this age, there are not too many. One exception, however, is Pennsylvania Senator John F. Fetterman, who last year shocked Democrats by meeting with Trump and even voting in favor of some of his nominees and policies. Even more gobsmacking, Fetterman has defended Trump and shamed Democrats for comparing him to an authoritarian dictator. Take a look.
I would like to take the opportunity to remind, I vote a 91% Democratic line. And if Democrats have a problem with somebody that votes 91% of the same times as you are, more than 9 out of 10 times, then maybe our party has a bigger problem, and maybe it's not the big tent party that people need and we want to have to win that moving forward for that. Now, my views are reflected in my vote, and I refuse to call people, whether it's President Trump or other people, as they're Nazis or that they're fascists or that we're trying to destroy our country. And now I refuse to use that kind of rhetoric, and I know that there's parts of my base that they want that, and there's some people, my colleagues, that even monetize that kinds of outrage right now, and I refuse to do that.
Do your teeth hurt yet? Don't worry, I have some Novocaine coming up, so stay with me here. Earlier this year, Fetterman shocked Democrats again by continuing to defend Trump and claiming that Trump derangement syndrome had infected the party.
Senator John Fetterman making some more headlines and sparking some controversy. His recent comments this time in a recent interview, Senator Fetterman saying Democrats do not have a true leader and are being governed by Trump derangement syndrome.
This morning, Punchbowl News reports that John Fetterman's support has collapsed in Pennsylvania among Democrats, meaning he will likely face an uphill challenge should he run for re-election. Now, it's important to note at this point that he's not up for re-election until 2028, so he has plenty of time to make amends. That said, at this point, other Pennsylvania Democrats are not holding back, and some are even challenging him in the primaries, or considering doing so. Quote, "My focus right now is on 2026, but I would just say I'd be very surprised if he ran in the Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate," close quote. Representative Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania, who's being rumored to be eyeing a Senate bid in 2028, told Punchbowl. Congressman Summer Lee echoed that sentiment, saying, quote, "That's up to him," close quote, before noting that Fetterman would run for re-election, quote, "at his own peril," close quote. There is, of course, also the possibility that Fetterman could switch parties to become a Republican or an independent. The same Punchbowl article notes 46% of Pennsylvania voters approve of Fetterman's performance, with 40% disapproving. The party breakdown, however, tells a different story. Fetterman is up 73% to 18% among Republicans, while underwater 22% to 62% among Democrats.
We should note at this point that despite the statistic we just cited, Fetterman has repeatedly denied that he would consider switching parties. And given that he still votes with Democrats more than 90% of the time, he would likely have a big problem with Republican voters, especially in the primaries. Which brings us to the ultimate point. What do we do with the John Fettermans of the world? Well, first, I would at least note that Fetterman is still a Democrat, which gives the caucus just a little bit more power in the Senate. Furthermore, he's not like Senators Kristen Sinema or Joe Manchin, who were Democrats that seemed bent on blocking Joe Biden's agenda. So Fetterman does deserve some credit. I would also note, however, that both Sinema and Manchin retired at the end of their terms after facing similar poll numbers among Democrats in their states. And beyond that, they don't have the same health problems that Fetterman has. So my suspicion, Fetterman retires in 2028, if not before, opening the Democratic Party up to some fresh blood in a key swing state. Thus, the Democratic Party's answer to Uncle Fester will for the moment endure, even if he seems off by Adams' family. And he is still a Democrat, so he deserves some slack, even if, like many a family visitor, we count down the days until he leaves. Now, here's my question. If Fetterman is Uncle Fester, who is the cousin it of the Democratic Party? Tell me in the comments. This is the Chris